This is the 8th of December 2010 and we're at the Hoover Dam. This is the new bridge which we're going to walk across. They have a parking lot. You can walk up now to the bridge. You see people walking up there, and then you can walk across. And security just told us it's about a quarter of a mile across the bridge. This is the parking lot. You can walk, and we started walking up to the bridge. And this is the entrance over to the bridge. They have, I guess, 5 posters here describing the selection of the site, etc. Go ahead, that's all right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Are you sure?
And that's the entrance to the bridge I just came out of right here. And they have a few places to sit all along the stairs coming up. It's nicely arranged. Now I've just turned around and this is the bridge. You can walk across about a quarter of a mile. When Abe and I were here in 2005, the bridge had not been completed. This is the new bridge. Incredible view of the dam. This is the old road, and it's still open. We'll be going across it, across the dam.
You didn't get a picture of what I sent you? It's Hoover Dam. Get it? Having a game, good time? What time is it? We're on the famous.
These are the turbines along here.
How you doing, Kyle? Yeah, it's data right here. Only one more left, though. Two more for this one, right? How's it going? How's it going? Nothing new day today?
We're ready, won't be long, and do all that.
We're now in the visitor center looking out through the window, and that's part of the bridge. A little better view of the bridge.
Main reasons in the 1930s: flood control of the river and irrigation water for Southern California farmland. Electricity is only a byproduct why they actually built the dam, but it's important because it paid the entire cost of the project and is still paying the bills for the power plant every year too. First, in 1931, in March, they had to divert the river, get out of the way. So they built 4 tunnels, 2 Arizona, 2 Nevada. The one diversion tunnel we were standing in is in Nevada. On the diagram, we're standing actually right about there. That yellow line is that tunnel we just came walking down from the elevator. Once these tunnels were built, and it took 18 months, it was the first and the hardest part of the entire project to build these tunnels. Once they were built, then on the original path of the river, up and also downstream, engineers and workers built up on the river a couple of coffer dams. Coffer Dam, huge temporary dam made of lots of earth and rock. So they dried out all this land between the coffer dams for the workers. And once the workers got down to the bedrock of the river, then on June 6, 1933, that's actually when they started building the dam. Shortly after that time, they started building the other structures also. The vibration you probably feel below your feet is water from Lake Mead traveling through this tunnel to a pipe now below our feet. You can see the pipe right through that window there. Pipe itself is 30 feet in diameter. They say 2 Greyhound buses can drive side by side down that pipe. That's how large the pipe actually is. The engineers have a name for the pipe. They call it a penstock. I call it a big water pipe. Water enters from the Untitled Towers, goes through the pipe, and then the pipes branch off, as you can see here, to 13 feet in diameter. So it's taking all that water and even more, speeding pressure to the turbines from 12 to 49 miles an hour. Water spins a turbine, which spins a vertical shaft, which spins a rotor that's inside generators. That's where the electricity is made. And then the water exits out here. This area we call the tail bay, and the water keeps on going down the lower Colorado River downstream. That's how water in Lake Mead helps to make electricity here at Hoover Dam in the power plant. During the 5 years from March of 31 to about March of 36, to build this project, they say officially 96 men lost their lives on site building the dam, but they only counted the men who died on site. They did not count the men who died off-site in a hospital in Vegas or Boulder City. If they did, the old timers say that number could be 400 to 700 at least. Now, there also be on both sides of the dam a gigantic spillway. These spillways purposely built about 27 feet lower than the dam. If too much water is in the lake behind the dam, they never want that water to go over the dam, so that's why they built these spillways lower than the dam. Now, these spillways are actually first tested by engineers here in 1941 to see if they worked. But we have a picture on the wall right over here, shows you what occurred in the summer of '83, 27 plus years ago. From spring snow in the Rocky Mountains that melted down, there's over 200% melted quickly down. The Rockies got here this summer, then it went over the spillways around the dam 62 straight days in the summer of '83. And it left the top of the white line we see now around the lake level. We've also been going through a drought here in the southwest near the dam. The drought started about the year 1999. 11 years has been going on. We should be a little bit more than halfway up that white line. We're not, because of the 11 years of drought and many more years of overpopulation also. Second part, tour will take us into the power plant. We'll be on the balcony here overlooking the generators on the power plant floor. Would like you to wait here. I'll put the microphone up, and then I'll get around and get you back to the elevator, okay?
This is the pipe he was talking about.
Actually, there's a generator generators at the dam. Each one has a light on top. If the light is on now, it indicates they're probably using that generator for operations today also. Generator on the floor actually stands about 75 feet tall. We can only see the top 35 feet up here. 40 feet below the floor, the generator is where the water from Lake Mead that's flowing through the big pipe starts spinning. A Francis-type turbine, 180 times a minute. The turbine is connected to a 65-foot long vertical shaft. The shaft is actually divided into 3 separate sections. Inside the generator on the floor is a spinning part inside called the rotor. It looks like a big wheel. Around it, 44-ton electromagnetic poles spinning 180 times a minute. They were spinning inside 2 stationary coils, semicircle made of tightly wound copper wire called stator coils. That's where most of the electricity here made at the dam. But not all the electricity is made in those commercial generators. There are 2 smaller generators here at the dam that provide all the in-house power, like for the lights in the elevators. This smaller one here is on the floor behind that aluminum railing. That's called a Pelton water wheel generator. And they have another one of those in Arizona. On September 11, 1936, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt pulled a switch in Washington, D.C. He gave power to those 2 Pelton water wheels so they could actually have power later on to power up the commercial generators built here on the power plant later. Now they have to do also maintenance for the generators, and how they do that. They use 2 large original bridge cranes. One of them has the beautiful American flag hanging from up there shortly after 9/11. And there's another one a little bit behind it. These cranes, they move them on these rails up and down the power plant. Each crane can lift 300 tons apiece. Sometimes they connect both the cranes so they can lift out the generator, the massive 580 rotor assembly, and put that on the floor for maintenance too. Where they're going to put that on the floor next week, right there behind the yellow gates, they're going to put that shaft and the rotor from the 3rd unit right there and work on it on the floor too next week. The floor we're standing over here is the original 2. This floor is called terrazzo. It's inlaid crushed marble, tile, and concrete. It was actually installed by 30 Italian immigrants from 1936 to 1937 here at the dam. They started tours of the dam in 1937, and since then they've estimated over 44 million people have seen the dam walking over the same floor you're walking over today too. The beautiful symbols on the floor, these symbols, they were done in Southwest Indian design by an artist. His name was Alan True. What he did, he combined the symbols from Art Deco. When they built the dam in the 30s, Art Deco was one of the major art styles at the time, with the symbols of Native Americans. Some of those were for basket weaving, pottery, and sand painting. And the symbols we see in the parliament mean 2 things only. Electricity, with this symbol that looks like a power plug there, or the other symbol, circular symbol, means water going around the turbine that makes electricity up in your generator too. If you are looking for the dam, turn right behind you and look at that wall. A few feet behind that wall, you've got another 450 more feet of unreinforced concrete of the dam before you actually get to Lake Mead on the other side. I'd like you to wait for me now by the door, wait there, then I'll get you back to the elevators and we'll go up to the exhibits, okay?
Across the top.
This is the
but
from the
only
observation
78 feet
tour.
across the base.
This is the
It
new
looks
bridge.
somewhat like an upside-down pyramid. This massive arch gravity structure contains 3,250,000 cubic yards of concrete. That's enough concrete to build a 2-lane highway from San Francisco to New York City. The thickness at the roadway is a mere 45 feet, but as the dam expands towards the base, it reaches 660 feet, nearly as thick as it is tall. She weighs in at a petite 6.6 million tons. Behind the dam, you can see Lake Mead, the largest man-made reservoir in the United States. It has a storage capacity of 9.2 trillion gallons of water. Enough water to flood the state of Connecticut 10 feet deep. The body of water in front of the dam is called the tail bay, or tail race, but in reality that's the Colorado River. This is where the water is drawn from hundreds of feet below the surface of the lake and spills through the turbines, flowing on downstream. The water comes out of the turbines at an average temperature of 53 to 55 degrees. At the base, you see 2 long buildings, one on each side of the canyon. These house the 17 generators that create the electrical energy that provides the funding for the operation and maintenance of this facility. This allows Hoover Dam to operate without the use of taxpayer dollars. You'll notice the roofs on both buildings appear to have wires coming out of them. This is called the takeoff structure. From the takeoff structure, the wires carry the electricity up and over the canyon walls at 230,000 volts. The towers that support and direct the wires are leaning into the canyon. These are Cantilever Towers, designed to ensure that the wires do not touch the walls of the canyon and short out. Now look downriver, midway on the canyon wall, and you will see a rectangular concrete building with 6 holes. This is the valve house. There are 2, one on each side of the canyon. Each building contains 2 90-inch jet flow gates. These gates allow us to run water around the turbines if necessary. Tons. The crane is used to deliver large equipment from the road to the ramps below. Looking at these canyon walls, one can marvel at the tenacity, courage, and skill of the fearless men that performed some of the most dangerous undertakings on the Boulder Canyon project. These brave characters, called high scalers, swung from the top of the canyon walls by a single rope on a bosun's chair, drilling, blasting, and chipping away at the rock. They worked the walls to their solid foundation to prevent the natural rock from falling on the workers below. Feels that the future is limitless, that we have in our grasp the power to achieve anything if we can but summon the will. Thank you for coming and seeing one of the 10 most honored construction achievements of the 20th century. Feel free to stay and take all the pictures you wish. The next presentation is located across the street at the flagpole.